Good day, folks. I was just experimenting with a Rodin coil, and some of my previous videos I did a bit of this, and I've noticed that it likes to be driven with one wire. So here's what I did. I have a high frequency, high voltage oscillator here, so essentially running off of one wire, and I did my loops across here going like this all around here and then back in, because I noticed there's a lot of energy in the center here because the lights would go on. So I just got it going up here like that and leaving it there, so it's basically capacitive at this point, kind of like a Tesla coil. Basically, this would be the equivalent of a solid state Tesla coil, the output part, or the top, basically. What I was doing is, then I was using all of these windings here to couple into it, and they're very, very strong, and they work good with the diode plug as well. But what I wanted to do is run a 110 volt lamp off of it. So I noticed it would work with just one wire when I would touch it, but it also needs a good ground to really get bright, okay? So what I'm going to show you here is what I did is I wanted to use as little current as possible. So my regular trick, I use a small AC to DC power supply with a capacitor in the front to make it reactive, and that drops it to milliwatts range. So these oscillators love to run at very, very low power, because this way here, the little transistor, you see these get warm after a few minutes. So this way here, it could basically run forever and I don't have to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is, I've also noticed a few things. So I'm going to first turn this on before I go any further. I got the power bar down here. So I'm going to turn it on, and you're going to notice the light goes very, very bright, just like it would be off the mains, and it really leaves a reflection, lights very well. And what happens here is, even though it's one wire, if we were to put like this, I've got this lamp here, and if I were to put it near like here and I were to actually touch the one wire, you see there's going to be a spark here. But what happens is, even though it's one wire, we still end up having a loading effect. See how the light goes down quite, and like goes down to a quarter when I touch it, okay? That's because we're varying the capacitive and load values. So even though it's not a closed loop, we're still affecting essentially the resonance of the system, okay? So it still ends up looking like a loss one way or another. So same thing when I go over here, like I can tap into one of the wires here. See? This will light up, changes the load capacitance, but then the light hardly works. So what I'm going to do now, I was just touching it there, so I'm going to have to put it back, because I just had it placed. Got to get it right. Okay. So what I noticed is, at first it wasn't working because I needed to find a good ground. Well, not working, very minimal. And I didn't have a real ground, so some people like to use mass, but I've realized that you could use a battery, just one of the prompts there. So I'm going to disconnect to show you the difference. So you don't really see it too much on the camera here, but when I plug to the battery, see the camera doesn't catch it, but there's a major increase in brightness when I touch it here. This enhances the ground. And what's interesting is, on the other side, this kind of does what the ion valve does, because now all of a sudden, look at what I can do here. See, now this lights up, see, but we're no longer, it doesn't, see when I tap it, it doesn't affect the light no more. So what I'm getting at is, whatever we're putting on one wire on this side is no longer changing our variance here, because this is a tuned circuit, you see. So anything you do to this, it's basically reactive, it goes wrong. But on this side here, it's not affected. So what I'm getting at is, it's almost free what comes from this side here. So if we would want to charge stuff, it would be wise to do it on this side with the diode plug, so it doesn't affect our resonance here. And see, the light still runs fine. I just wanted to show you that. But if I go somewhere like here, right directly off the one wire, it basically almost goes out. See? Same thing over here. Major difference. I just have the wires loose here, so my apologies. But yeah, because it's disconnected there because I was just having it like that. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that you can use a battery for ground and the other side doesn't affect the circuit here. So this means a lot if you can read between the lines here, potentially a method of getting more energy output without actually draining the battery, by the way. And eventually, who knows, maybe with the field, the battery, I haven't checked this yet, but maybe it'll respond. So a few things to think about here, and just sharing the configuration with you because the Rodin coil seems to have an amplification effect on its outputs here. Because I'm really running little current off of this right now. So it's quite remarkable. So I hope you enjoy, and until next time.